I don't use soap to wash my dishes. Oh my God. Aren't you going to die though? Well, yeah, one day. I would imagine so, unless they figure out some pretty cool science. But maybe that's not even the point here. Look, I think that the way you treat, your space, your body, your mind, everything matters a lot, and it's because it is a reflection of the relationship with yourself. So, the way that your house looks on the inside matters, actually. The way that you handle the things that you use and touch and consume, at least in my mind, this is a really big deal. I got freaking flamed a while ago, but not actually. It was kind of a baseless flame for my video talking about, yeah, I probably won't be able to trust you if your house looks like shit. And people get real upset when it strikes a chord with them. I'm thinking, look, the inside of your house perhaps looks like the inside of your mind. If you don't have order, if you don't have awareness within that, I can't imagine that being a good thing. But again, I think it's so important to know about these things. So what I want to talk through is really this idea of just the household awareness, the things that I use, again, kind of my scope on this whole image. And hopefully you can walk away from listening to this with something helpful. My approach, whether it's with just the videos I put out there, the clients I work with, it's never, hey, you should do exactly what I do. You got to be just like me. What you actually have to do is figure out what your priorities are and what you care about, and then you can make decisions based on that. So don't just blatantly follow me. I also made a video recently. I said, look, I could make so much more money if I just tricked you into thinking that you ought to live just like me, because there's leverage to that. There's control over that. What I would really like to offer is a bit of agency and having your own authority over your decisions. So again, consider what I've got to say and then make your own choices. So the soap thing, right? Zoom out and think about what the hell is detergent and soaps and the stuff you put in your laundry and the dish soap and everything. Could you tell me what's in Dawn dish soap? Because I have no idea. And I don't even know if they're required to put the ingredients on there for something like that. But if you can see the ingredients, I guarantee that 99% of the words on there aren't going to make sense. And listen, I'm not going to go full conspiracy and say that they're trying to make you sick and lower your immune system so that you freaking rely on the pharmaceutical companies and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to do that, okay? Wink, wink. No, I'm kidding. But what I will say is, why use something every single day that you actually do not know what that thing is? And listen, you finish eating your food and you're putting this blue detergent on your plate, washing it. Well, surely a little bit of that is staying on there. What's in that? So essentially, you're ingesting very small amounts of this thing. Now, here's the thing. What if it's not bad for you at all? What if, chemically speaking, it's not even unhealthy? Because, the very, I don't even know how to categorize these people, the ultra pragmatic, just realistic folks, I'd say it's not going to make that big of a difference. I say, okay, I hear you. What if it's not bad for you? Well, there's an aspect of mindlessness. Mindlessness is a killer. Awareness is a key. One of my clients, she's 65. And listen, she takes an ice bath every day. She works out. She crushes it in real estate. I love talking about her because we've worked together for a really long time. And one of the biggest unlocks for her was awareness. It's a really big theme that we talk about. And I did a little mini interview with her the other day to kind of summarize our work together over the last couple of years. And that always comes up in a big way because for her, there was the awareness and then the confidence that comes from the awareness. When we first started working together, there was not this strong presence behind her explanation of the things that she's thinking and working through and doing on a daily basis. Now in WeChat, she's got this confidence. She got this whole kind of mind space of ideas that are all geared towards her just becoming better. So it's the coolest thing. But she struggled with food for a very long time. And a lot of that she refers to as kind of the autopilot. When you're just going through life on autopilot, not really thinking about the decisions that you're making, you are mindlessly making decisions. You're mindlessly buying something. You're mindlessly putting something into your body. I don't think that that is a good relationship with the self. So again, let's say that all the soaps and detergents and air fresheners and whatever the hell else are totally fine for you health-wise, which I don't actually think is the case. Think of the relationship that that is building with you. I'll just throw whatever into the system and see what happens. Imagine you had someone that you were looking after. Kids, maybe you're watching somebody that's not feeling well. Maybe you're just in a relationship with somebody else. Are you just going to throw mindless products on, in, or around them? I mean, maybe most people do at this point, but when you really think about that, you wouldn't want that to be a defining factor of your relationship with somebody else. Why would it be a defining factor of the relationship with you? So again, this client has gone from a lack of awareness, learning about that awareness, and now it's the main thing that she talks about because it's a different lens to see the world through. And now again, she exercises, does the ice bath, is very conscious about the way that she eats. Mind you, this is somebody at 65 years old. Most people don't make these decisions ever at any age. So I'm always inspired. Going on this little tangent, I'm always inspired by anybody making these shifts, but especially somebody at 65 where most people literally don't change at all. They are so set in their ways. So I'm insanely proud of her. And if you're listening to this, you know exactly who you are. But look, if you want to make a similar transformation in your life, by the way, check out my landing page at the top link in the description. There's a couple different things I offer. One of the things being one-on-one mentorship, where I will work very intentionally with you to kind of make these unlocks and build an unbreakable relationship with yourself. Everything is an extension of how you treat yourself, how you see yourself, your identity. Your identity is what you do, what you think, and what happens to you. Okay, so that's the data that makes up the things that express every little part of your life. Anyways, so mindlessness, that being a major killer. You can't have the mindlessness, and there's so many things around the house, in the store, that kind of pull you into that. So we'll use the dish soap thing. Dawn dish soap. God, I wonder who owns Dawn. Do you think they care about you? Is it Procter & Gamble or something? It's just one of these big-ass companies, right? Do you really think that they have your best interest in mind? They're creating this product going, oh my gosh, we really need to make sure that we're putting the best ingredients into this thing so that when someone is cleaning their kitchen, washing their dishes, whatever else, that they're going to really, really have a healthy approach to it. We're looking out for all of our customers. Bullshit, dude. I mean, I kind of want to look this up. Who owns Dawn dish soap? Okay, yeah, Procter & Gamble. Should we do this? Procter & Gamble. Yearly revenue. This will be really fun here. Bear with me. I'm typing with one hand. Give me a break. Yearly revenue. Oh my God. Procter & Gamble's P&G annual net revenue for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025 was $84.28 billion. Oh yeah, but they're meticulous about what they're putting in their products so that their customers remain safe and healthy. Totally. I hear you. I'm on board. It's not the case. Okay, so they don't just mindlessly deserve your trust. You should be a damn stickler because look at what's up against you, okay? So what I see a lot of people doing in this, I would say health space. I mean, I don't want to go all the way pharmaceutical with this conversation, but you open the freaking medicine cupboard and you got 400 different things in most American households, and you got the air fresheners and the cleaners and all of these different things, right? I think a lot of them have the approach of, why don't I create the problem and then sell the solution? Because you're really made to think that, oh gosh, on your countertop there's just billions and billions of toxic bacteria that are going to make you sick. Well, let's say that you have a really healthy lifestyle and you're bringing different fruits and vegetables, and you got maybe some little flies that come in every once in a while. I mean, tracking dirt and all this bacteria and shit into your house is probably, life trying to emulate what it's like outside where you're supposed to be, probably. I don't think that it's as dangerous as these companies that, again, create the problem, sell the solution, make it out to be. And I'm not trying to deny getting sick and that there are viruses and things like that, of course. But do you really think that you need to be putting bleach on the surfaces of your house? Because if you think about the way that anything gets stronger, it takes exposure to a stimulus of stress to be able to overcome that. I mean, that's literally with anything. Physical strength, something like ice bath or sauna. I mean, the more time you spend in that stress stimulus, the more used to it you are, and the less threatening it becomes. So when we talk about the whole bacteria idea, that's damn near a bad word for most people, but how do you think you strengthen your immune system? Probably exposure to some degree. So I'm making sure that I made a note about something that just popped into my mind. I don't think I did. Same idea. I talked about this maybe a couple weeks ago. Somebody commented on one of the pods, so I remember talking about this. But I cook my food in the mornings, and then I just leave it on the counter. And then I'll heat it up when I'm about to eat it. I feel like it's not that dangerous, but you're made to think that if your food gets under or over a certain temperature, throw it away immediately. It's terrible. There's this one dude, he just eats raw chicken. I don't know if you've seen this guy on Instagram before. I used to see a lot of his stuff years ago, but he'll just buy raw chicken or raw fish or something, bring it outside of the Whole Foods he purchases it at, and just eats it on camera. Freaking insane. But his whole thing was, all right, well, I'm going to eat this until I get sick and see what happens. And then, he's just reporting back. Great health. I mean, I'm not recommending this at all. I wouldn't do the same thing either, but I think it's to kind of jab at these rules that are just thrown at us that we just go, okay, yes. So, my note here is cracking me up. I feel like I can't really say this or shouldn't, but the kind of what I'm talking about, just my framing right here, it sounds a lot like the animal-based kind of carnivore Paul Saladino realm. And yeah, I mean, I'm not a indoctrinated cog necessarily, because any form of extreme, which I don't know if it's extreme, but I'll say the poles of a certain idea spectrum, I'm not just going to say yes. I always want to remain a little bit outside of it. It's like I'm agnostic with everything, and that feels like the smartest thing to me right now. That said, though, I mean, the thesis of, eat whole foods and be conscious and mindful, it's a pretty good consideration. I would say I eat mostly kind of the animal-based type of way, but I mean, I have rice, and my girlfriend's making sourdough today, which is just an absolute gift. You know what I mean? So it's not this uber rigid way necessarily. But again, the idea behind it is pretty damn reasonable. So I think that it's something to consider. I don't want to dive all the way into kind of the diet stuff right now, but maybe for another episode. So my essentials for kind of household, just around the things that I use and my habits too. So for a while here at the house, we were using baking soda to wash our dishes. And I mean, quite frankly, I just stopped wanting to and got annoyed with the mess that it would make. Not me necessarily, but I'm gonna pick on my roommate here. Freaking baking soda would be everywhere. I'm going, dude, let's just not use it anymore. So yeah, I just started using blazing hot water, and I'll just scrub. I mean, I cook beef and rice. As soon as the bowl is empty, a new portion of beef and rice is going in the damn thing. So yeah, I feel like just a hot rinse, let it dry, boom, it's ready. I don't feel like that is that dangerous, and I don't really want to be fear-mongered into otherwise. So yeah, not really using soap for dishes or anything like that. I feel like it's totally reasonable. The reverse osmosis filters, so water quality, I feel like is kind of a big deal. I don't know. I think people get a little fear-mongery with that too. And being super fearful for your whole life is probably worse than the water. But at the same time, I'm just going to make the best decisions that I possibly can. So, we've got a couple reverse osmosis filters, and then I salt my water all the time. I haven't had water without salt in a while, because your reverse osmosis basically kills everything in the water. So people consider it dead water, so you're supposed to remineralize it. But yeah, I just throw salt in there, and I freaking love the taste. It's crazy. Every time my girlfriend takes a sip, she goes, "Oh, that's terrible." I don't know why. I just absolutely love the taste of salt water. So I guess it works out. Shower filter, something that we just have installed in the old bathroom for really since we moved to Austin. I had a shower filter in North Carolina for maybe a month or two before moving out here. But the water in Austin, Texas is so ass. It's insane. I mean, my hair sucks here. And then as soon as I go home, take a shower, and it's just the best consistency, and it just clumps together and gives me the best hairstyle with some curls. And I feel like clumps together made that sound weird. But yeah, it just makes my hair great. And then here, it can be that way for a couple days if I wash it. I don't love to wash my hair. And then it'll just turn into a wire. It freaking sucks. I did get a haircut yesterday. What you guys think? My hair's always wet when I record these because Sunday morning I kind of have a schedule, but yeah, it's a little curled up right now. But my buddy Harwan got me right. He usually gives the house all the haircuts. But yeah, I think having a filter maybe helps a little bit. But honestly, I think the shitty Austin water makes its way through because it still ain't working. So if you know of a really good shower filter, let me know. What do I use right now? Maybe I shouldn't even say it. Just let me know your favorites. How about that? Soap. So body wash and that kind of thing. I use Healthy Soul. It's health, Y, and then SOL, kind of Spanish. Yeah, that shit is pretty awesome, honestly. I've been using their stuff for a good while. They have the liquid soap, and then they have the bars. But yeah, I'm a huge fan because they're just one of those kind of grassroots companies. The owner's pretty dope. They send out these little emails, and they're just kind of, I don't know, they're pretty base. They're pretty realistic. So it's cool to see just a smaller company trying to do the right thing, make all the good products. And you can always tell when somebody is actually trying to have good impact or make a quality product, because there's this tint of struggle, and you can see it, and you love it, because you guys see that's the type of shit that changes the world. But I want to say I have a code with them. If you want to try out some of their soap, I want to say it's Code Crew. I don't really do many brand sort of situations, but they've hooked me up a couple times. So try Code Crew. If you go to their website and you want to get some soap, give it a shot. Now, okay, I made a little note here about floss. I'm gonna tell you what. I've had those little floss picks for a long time, and then my editor Brennan, we collab on a lot of the what toothpaste should we get, what soap, what this. We talk about that a good bit, and he was getting this high quality. I don't even remember what it was made of, but it was some kind of better floss. But it's normal. You pull out the string and then you gotta do the whole thing. And I just I hate it so much, and I love those little floss picks. And I think for me, I'm going, man, you know what? I think I'm gonna take the cost of using the little picks. I should probably find some bamboo picks or something like that, just to be a little bit extra. Um, but yeah, it's little considerations like that. I mean, I don't think that, again, all of these things are just going to ruin your life if you're using the plastic picks over the perfect floss or this soap over that soap. I don't know the science behind it, but I do know what intentionality does for you. So something to keep in mind. My toothbrush, I use a bamboo toothbrush, and then the bristles are it's boar's hair. So a little bit extra there. That might kind of funnel me into the Paul Saladino apologist. But no, I mean I think that it's worth getting a bunch of plastic out of your mouth as much as you can. Maybe you know what I have been thinking of is a retainer, because I didn't wear my retainer for a few months. Put it in a night or two ago. It just felt real snug, which I kind of freaking love that feeling, by the way. But then I'm thinking, dude, I got plastic in my mouth all night long. Maybe not that ideal. But anyways, cookware. Cookware is a big one for me because, I mean, you're obviously using a lot of heat, and if you're using plastic and all of these weirdly coated pans and stuff, and then it gets in your food, I feel like that's a really kind of close quarters version of what I'm talking about here. So I use stainless steel pans. Cast iron is great. Ceramic is pretty good from what I've heard. Stainless steel, I think people hate cooking on it because if you heat up a pan and don't do it right, and then you just put food on there, it's gonna literally chemically bind to it, and that shit's never gonna come off. What you have to do is let the stainless steel pan heat up all the way, and then you put a little drop of water on there, and then if the water kind of beads up and rolls around, then you know it's hot enough. If it kind of evaporates, then it's not hot enough yet. So you gotta let the bare pan heat up first, and then you put the oil and then the food, and then it doesn't really stick that bad at all. So it's freaking awesome. But yeah, I just try to use glass for the containers that I put my stuff in, metal for utensils and all that good stuff, and then again the stainless steel for the pans. I'm trying to think if there's anything else in kind of the cookware realm. I'm sure there is, but you can kind of get the gist from what I'm talking about there. And then I wrote down body wash, which is ridiculous because I already talked about that. I don't know what I meant with soap then. Maybe hand soap? I don't know. Anyways, my real kind of concluding thoughts in a more general sense, aside from just the stuff I'm physically using, just be conscious. All right, be conscious with these things, because awareness is power. You know, awareness is a very empowering thing for yourself. Now, it does equal responsibility, but look, responsibility is exactly what you're looking for. If you actually want to make your life better, and I'd imagine if you're listening to my dumbass yap all the time, then hopefully you want to make your life better, because that's what I'm trying to help you do for sure. And I'm just getting 19 text messages right now. Hey, let's stop that. Good old do not disturb. Yeah, I'm a pretty frequent do not disturb princess, I gotta say. Sometimes it just helps to not have shit dinging, and then you get some work done, and then you look back and you go, whoa! 100 friends texted me. What a blessing I have 100 friends. But look, yeah, awareness is power. Awareness is everything. Again, I mentioned to you before, my client whose unlocks in life, biggest unlocks, came from this idea of awareness, just knowing what is going on, the self-awareness. Also in my mastermind group recently, I did a lesson on extreme observation, so kind of external awareness, and how that can really, really improve your life from kind of tuning the eyes and ears, knowing what's going on around you. I mean, these things are a really big deal. And it's the skills and kind of mind space that most people aren't even really talking about, because most people don't want to hear the shit that says, hey, here's a little bit more responsibility. But again, responsibility is your friend. So generally speaking, all of these improvements are kind of specific use cases, I guess, of some of these products I've mentioned, some of these approaches. It's all speculative, right? It's speculative whether or not it's going to drastically improve your health or protect you from getting sick in some way, whatever. It's all speculative. But some of the most meaningful decisions you're ever going to make are the exact same. You have to have the investment mindset, because everything is going to be kind of a hidden investment. You invest money because you hope that it's going to go up. You don't know exactly how things are going to pan out, but you make kind of this hidden investment. You can't see the prize right in front of you, but you're hoping that that prize will eventually come along. So just being specific, being aware, being intentional about how you treat yourself, that is one of these investments that day one, it's not going to just give you a brand new car, but it's definitely going to give you something, and you got to trust in that process. Lastly, you don't need to be a scientist to take ownership over the things that you use and consume. You don't have to be this molecularly aware person. You just have to be an aware person. You just have to understand the mechanisms of how you treat yourself, how you treat the things that you own and use, what you consume. Again, it all goes back to this same idea of the awareness. So just because somebody has got a friggin' lab coat on and they're telling you, hey, here's the deal, Dawn dish soap is amazing for you, do you have to believe them just because they got the white coat on? That's a freaking person that went to school and was probably trying to cheat on a quiz so they could get extra sleep. And then they got a piece of paper that said, hey, your doctor or your God, because people think it's the same thing. And then they're saying their piece. Yeah, maybe they have more information than you. Maybe they're synthesizing that information incorrectly. Who the hell knows? Does that mean that you can't study things? Does that mean that you can't take in information if you want to have that agency and that ownership? Well, of course not. So, again, the awareness, the ownership, the responsibility, all of these things are absolutely your friend, and it's exactly what you want. So, that said, I hope you learned something. Now, if you're listening on Spotify, if you could rate the show 5 stars, how cool would that be? Because it shows people, hey, maybe this guy's onto something here. So I really appreciate that. You guys are the freaking best. I'm always talking about how Instagram is so shitty, and then the podcast is great because you guys get it, and I know you get it. So yeah, if you're listening on Spotify, a little 5-star rating, and comment what you thought. The Spotify notification on my phone, literally my favorite thing of all time. And I try to get back to every single one as best as I can. If you're watching on YouTube, click the little subscribe button so you don't miss next week's video, and comment what you thought on there too. Leave a like, all that good stuff. Again, I mentioned kind of my mastermind as well as my one-on-one mentorship kind of throughout the episode here. If taking these things, any of these ideas I've talked about to the next level, you need more guidance with any of this stuff, again, click the top link in the description. It'll take you to my landing page, tell you all about the things that I offer and how I can help you build an absolutely unbreakable relationship with yourself. Because again, everything you're trying to change, every reality in your life is all an expression of that. So check out that link. If you want to read my newsletter, I send out 2 every single week talking about very similar topics, just in kind of a typed out form, which some people love. Some people love to read, take screenshots of quotes, save some things in their notes, whatever it might be. You can subscribe to that for free. Link to do so will also be in the show notes and description. What else we got here? Oh my gosh. Okay. Look, commenter from a week or 2 ago called me out. It said an episode that didn't mention no phone dinner at the end just feels wrong. And that's my bad. There's so much shit to remember. I promise. I didn't mean to. 3 words or 4, depending on who you are and how you talk. No phone dinner. Or no phone friggin' dinner. Okay? When you're eating your dinner, your phone is not there. What are you doing? Put that shit away. Because you deserve to exist in the present moment, be a human for a little bit, look around the room, hear the small noises, look at the texture of the wall. It's going to teach you something. And if you sit down to eat a meal and you put your phone away, you close the laptop, shut the TV off, turn the music off, and you start kind of bouncing your leg a little bit like I do sometimes, and you feel your mind going everywhere, and it's kind of this frantic state, you got to question what the hell is going on. Because sitting down eating food should not be a stressful endeavor. But I think for most people today it would be. So spend that time existing in the present, no phone dinner. It will actually change your life. I'm not just saying that, okay? I try to be pretty damn truthful with the things that come out of my mouth, and this one is no different. So no phone dinner. Get after it. Again, I really hope you got something from this episode. I love you guys so much. Can't wait to see you on the next one. Have an awesome day, okay?